Hey everybody, it's Will and Willpower Astrology, and I'm continuing my series on the North Node in the birth chart. So today we're going to talk about North Node in Libra in the birth chart. I got my little notes that I typed out here, my little dates and times with my ephemeris, and let's just jump right into it. So to start off with, the North Node is where the moon's orbit around the Earth crosses the path of the Earth's orbit around the sun. So it's going around, the moon's going around, Earth's going around like this. Where it crosses in front, that's the north node, and where it crosses in back, that's the south node, okay? So what this represents metaphorically is the north node represents this energy that we are not aware of, this energy that is not comfortable to us. It's what we're here to learn in this life. We have to grow towards manifesting this type of energy. And the south node is what we feel comfortable in already. It's our energy and our baggage that we're carrying with us from past incarnations. So this can kind of mean anything in this new agey world of talking about this shit. But it's, you know what I mean, from our past lives. If you're an alien from another planet, this is the energy that you're carrying with you from that planet you come from or whatever. You know how there's a lot of different ways to describe this energy. But essentially I like to think of it as it's our karmic lessons. Whereas like Saturn and your Saturn return in the chart is going to give you trials and lessons and kind of karmic steps you have to climb and barriers you have to kind of get through. This is more about becoming familiar with yourself. It's about integrating the qualities of the South Node, that usually the South Node is going to pull us toward the negative traits of that sign. It's going to pull us toward the petty shit. It's going to pull us toward the low vibrational whatever. And what we're here to do is to raise that vibration, to master the qualities of what we already have inherently within us of the South Node, and then to use those to get us into this new territory of learning about the energy of the North Node and how we get into that. And what usually happens is that there's some kind of paradoxical, we think we're headed this way and we want this, but it's actually by taking a step back and doing this other thing that's going to get us the results that we want. So yeah, we have to master the South Node in order to get to the North Node. So that was a pretty quick intro. Let's jump right into it. So the North Node in Libra means that we start out our life with the South Node in the opposite sign of Aries. So the South Node in Aries is going to highlight the Aries quality of kind of being the lone wolf of the zodiac. People with South Node in Aries tend to feel like they can't rely on other people. So they're like, I'll just do it. I don't care. I'll just go. And if they want something, they're just going to go get it. You know what I mean? They're not going to wait for their birthday for you to ask, like, what do you want for your birthday? What do you want for Christmas? They're going to just already have gone and gotten the thing. So it's kind of like they're hard to shop for because they're not telling you what they want. They just go do the thing. They just go get it. So Aries people are very independent. Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, the first fire sign, wants to be the first. Aries wants to finish the race first. Aries wants to be the one that comes up with the scientific breakthrough first. Aries wants to be the one that nails the dance combination first. Do you know what I mean? So it's frustrating for them when they can't like go, 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 go. Because very much like the symbol where it's the male symbol with the circle, which represents soul, and then the arrow coming out of it represents the cross, or the point of the arrow represents the physical world. So it's taking soul desires and then bringing it out into the world and manifesting it. So whereas like a Venus ruled sign is more about incorporating, like having this corporate stuff, bring the stuff to your body. You know what I mean? Venus is very, we're letting it come to us. And Aries is like, I'm going to go get it. Mars is very active, martial, Martian. They're going to go get what they want. They're going to go after their desires. Aries is the motto of the sign is I am, as in the great I am, as in like the divine awareness of God. I think, therefore I am. It's all that type of shit. So yeah, Aries is very independent. Aries is very self-motivated. Aries is a fire sign. It's spiritual energy. It's passion and drive. It's sexual center. It's like, it's that burning within you. Your burning heart. The heart is Leo, but Aries rules the head, and it's like this, like it's animal totem of the ram. if it needs to, it's just gonna boom, 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 boom. It's gonna hit you until you fall down. You know what I mean? It's not gonna let you get back up. That ram is gonna go bam, 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 until that obstacle is out of the way. And like the ram, it's like a mountain climber. You know what I mean? It just keeps going up and up and up and up and up. So with the South Node in Aries, it's almost like when you were a kid, you were isolated, or in a past life, you couldn't rely on anybody. Or as a child, you know what I mean? There wasn't trustworthy people around you. So you had to learn that if you wanted something, that you needed to go do it yourself. Okay? And you had to learn, like, maybe if you wanted something, you had to keep it quiet. You had to keep it secret. So if you wanted it, you had to go secretly do it on your own. You know what I mean? Because no one was going to provide that energy for you. No one was going to give that energy to you. So what you're here to learn in this life is to, yes, how to use that independent quality of Aries, to use that lone wolf kind of status of, we can go and do anything we want because who's stopping me? You know what I mean? But the tricky thing about this placement is that we're here in this life to learn how to do Libra shit, which is balancing the scales, which is going, hey, can you help me with this? Yes, I can. Can you help me with this? Yes, I can. There's a give and take to what we have to learn. And so it feels like, I feel like people in this sign, if you're dealing with the South Node of Aries, it can be almost like a little bit of anger issues, because Aries is very hot-headed. And it's like, and Aries can be very like, oh, you're gonna confront me? Well, I'll kill you. You know what I mean? It's very, very that. So it can be anger issues that we're dealing with. It can be like, you know what I mean? Like, we resent people for feeling like they're stepping on my toes to come help me. Do you know what I mean? It could feel like God, just leave me alone. Like, why are you doing this? Like, why are you getting in my business? Like, oh, like you know what I mean? I feel like people with this South Node notoriously like don't want to be told what to do at all, because they feel like they already know. They're like, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. Get out of my way. Just move. Move. I'm gay. You know, it's very that. So what else? South Node of Aries. If we're kind of going into that trait, we can be combative. We can be like, it can be really hard for these people to see others' point of view. It can be really hard for these people to like understand that there are other people present. They have their own valid viewpoints. They have their own like trials and struggles that they're going through. I think it's hard for people with this placement to conceptualize the fact that other people are having problems just like them. And so it tends to like a lot. I think that South Node and Aries people, I'm just checking my time. I'm talking really fast today. I don't know what the deal is. It's Virgo. The sun just shifted into Virgo last night. I'm like, efficiency, let's go. But with the South Node in Virgo, it can feel like people are in your business. People are talking, you know, you feel like it's a straightforward assignment. You feel like it's like, I'm just going to run down to the grocery store really quick and get some eggs. And something that should take you just 5 minutes, it's like all of a sudden people are jumping out the word. Do you really think that? Well, what about this? Did you think about this? What about the ethics of raising eggs that aren't your own? And what about, and you're just sitting there like, oh my God, like this thing should take 5 minutes and it's taking me 20. So I think learning patience is really paramount for the people who have North Node in Libra and South Node in Aries. Because in order to master that quality of Aries, that impulsivity, that directiveness, that I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, get the fuck out of my way, bam. You have to kind of learn that like, you can't, like no man is an island. You know what I mean? You can't just go out and be like, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want all the time. Sometimes you can't do everything that you want. It's not practical, and it probably isn't going to help you. You know what I mean? Just like in the last video where we talked about North Node and Scorpio. You're here to learn how to cultivate connections with other people. And where it's different from North Node and Scorpio is it's not your deep bonded relationships. This is just surface level relationships. This is your house of friends and open enemies is what they call it. Libra is associated with the 7th house. So this is like learning just how to deal with others. This is your friends and acquaintances. This is, you know, your personal relationships. This is like the people that you work with at work. This is like your, you know what I mean? Uh, like Libra, seventh house. This is actually the first sign of the zodiac because Aries through Virgo is all about the self. And it's all about how you develop your own emotional maturity and how you develop your own processes for work and stuff. And so Libra as the seventh house ruler, this is kind of the first time in the zodiac where we start to incorporate the viewpoints of other people. So Libra is associated with as an air sign, like as we're talking about Aries is a fire sign in the south node. And if we're moving toward an air sign in the north node, Libra is a lot, air signs are mental energy, thinking, thoughts, expression, talking, you know what I mean? And whereas Gemini, the first air sign, is more about here's my thoughts, here's my stuff, here's I'm talking, you need to listen to me, blah, 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 blah. Libra is the first one where we go, all right, what do you have to say? I'm done talking. Now, you know what I mean? I'm done talking. What do you have to say? So moving towards Libra as the scales being the totem. It's the only inanimate object of the totems of the zodiac. And so sometimes it can feel like all air signs can get in their heads too much, but especially Libra is extremely indecisive because they're constantly weighing out kind of their mental state. And so they're like, I don't know, should I do this? Should I do that? They're going to sit there and replay every scenario and go, and if it doesn't feel extremely balanced to them, they're going to have like, you know, reservations about it. So, and I really like in Sextrology, where they break down the signs by gender. It's by Starsky and Cox. Great book. This was kind of the intro to my own kind of astrology journey because I was reading about my signs and I was like, ooh, they got me, gal. But they talk about Libra man because fire and air signs are both masculine. So Libra man is weighing the scales internally. Libra man is stuck in this constant indecision of, I don't know. Whereas Libra woman, as a female in a masculine sign, is enacting the qualities of the sign to the environment around her. So Libra woman is actually balancing her environment. She's saying, nope, fuck you, fuck y'all. You know what I mean? She's balanced. She's going to put you off balance. And if you're off balance, she's going to go, let me tip that scale for you. You know what I mean? So for Libra man, it's a lot more internal. It's a lot more embodied. And for Libra woman, it's a lot more enacted. It's brought out into the environment. It's put on other people. So there's a lot more projection in that way where they're saying, you're not in balance. I'm going to show you, I'm going to put you in your place. You know what I mean? So I don't know if anybody's ever, people think of Libra as this like peaceful sign. They're just so, but have you ever gotten in a beef with a Libra? Like it's dead ass. Like they don't play fair. They play dirty. They will like sit there and drag you through the mud, because they're balancing out the environment around them. So anyways, moving toward a north node of Libra, what we're doing is mastering those qualities of Aries. We know how to be independent. We know how to take initiative on our own. We know how to go take leadership. But what we need to do is like, okay, now we've got all these things and we bring it to you. What do you say? What are you learning? What are you doing? You know what I mean? So learning the north node in Libra is like, I can't just go do whatever I want all the time. Because if I do that, that support that I want, because what I want is Libra connection, right? Libra support and Libra connection. But if I go off as a South Node Aries and I'm running off making my own decisions and I'm running off doing my own thing and I'm running off like never consulting anyone and never communicating, because air signs, Libra is about communication ultimately. It's about, Libra seventh house is where democracy is born because we're taking the poll. We're seeing what's going on around us. And if you're constantly just running off doing your own thing, then people, it's like they can't weigh the scales. It's like you're constantly taking your little chips off of the scale and they're like, there's nothing to push against. There's no boundaries. There's no borders. You know what I mean? If you're not honest about where you are in your process and about what you're going to do next, then people feel like it's not trustworthy, right? If you're constantly feeling like I'll just have to do it. I just have to do it. Then people will go, okay, then do it. and you're missing out on that connection and the communion of balancing the scales with the people that you want to connect with. So you have to kind of put yourself out there. I think people with the North Node in Libra and the South Node in Aries, I think have the hardest time out of all of the signs of the North Node signs communicating. Even more than what we're coming up to, North Node in Gemini. North Node in Gemini doesn't trust their own voice, right? They're like, I don't know about what I should say. North Node in Libra doesn't trust you. They don't have trust for you. They're not going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Does that make sense? They're going to go off and take care of shit on their own because they don't see a pattern of trustworthiness in you. And this comes from parents that put them in shitty positions. This comes from, you know what I mean, being in situations where they learned that if they trusted other people, that they would be abandoned. You know what I mean? So it's hard for them to communicate boundaries and to communicate because they feel like, oh, I just have to take care of it myself. If I'm not taking care of it myself, then I'm a failure. If I'm not handling it, then that's on me. You know what I mean? They internalize a lot of shit with that South Node individual Aries energy. So it's really hard for them to just be upfront with how they think and how they feel. But once they do, they start to realize that maybe other people around agree with them. You know what I mean? Maybe other people around them agree with what they have to say. And it's that like, we didn't know you thought that way until you had to say what you have to say. So you have to put your chips, clack, 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 on the scale in order for them to put their chips on the scale. So in order to find balance, it's almost like you have to put yourself out there first. Do you know what I mean? You can't wait to be like, I'm gonna hold off until they put theirs on the scale, and then I'll balance off of them. It's like if you want a relationship, if you want a business opportunity, if you want like your world to change, you have to be the one to take that spirit of initiative from the Aries South Node and be like, yo, I'm gonna bring this to you. What do you think? I would love to have this opportunity. What do you think? You know what I mean? People with the North Node in Libra can be skilled negotiators. They can be skilled, you know what I mean? They can advance their own career really, and their own goals, not just career. That's just always kind of like the manifestation that seems easiest to me to go to, but like relationships, career goals, love goals, you know, whatever it is that they want, they're going to find that once they start just kind of go out and say this, it ain't that, it's this. I'm going to be specific with you. What I want to do is fucking be pissed and run out of here and be like, nope, we're not doing that shit. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit here in a clear, level-headed manner and I'm going to go da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then once your viewpoint is known, people go, oh, you know what I mean? So you can't assume that people know, and you can't assume that people are going to have your best interest at heart. So if you don't say your boundary, if you don't say what is good and what is not, you're constantly teaching people how to treat you. Does that make sense? You're constantly saying like, if somebody says something really out of pocket to you and you don't immediately go, nope, you're never going to talk to me that way again, then they feel like they didn't have anything to say, then they must be all right with me treating them like shit or whatever. So you have to be the one, and it's going to feel weird. That's why we're moving toward the North Node. It feels strange to have to rely on other people in order to get the goals that you want accomplished, because you're like, I could just go do this by myself. But Libra North Node people are learning how to communicate. They're learning how to delegate. They're learning how to like bring their desires out into the open. They are this thing. They want this thing, but they're not going to get the support until they communicate this thing, until they have something to like level up against or to push against or to balance against. Does that make sense? I think I was saying something a minute ago that I kind of lost the thread on, and I think what that thread is so Libra as an air sign, it's the cardinal air sign, so it's energy that goes out in terms of communication. Gemini is back and forth, and Aquarius is all up here. It's just a concentration of so Gemini is the self, Libra is the other, and Aquarius is the collective, right? That's the progression of the air signs. and in terms of how we relate to each other. Gemini is I'm relating by talking. I'm relating by sharing my viewpoint. Blah, 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 blah. All my Gemini people watching this are like, Jesus Christ. Libra is saying, I'm learning by listening to your viewpoint. What do you have to say? And Aquarius is saying, I have all these thoughts that are for everybody. Aren't we a cool group? You know what I mean? So moving towards this North Node in Libra, it's going to behoove you to just speak. Just speak your fucking truth. Speak your mind. Don't be afraid. It's going to feel like you're hampered by other people all the time, like telling you what to do and getting in your business and but you have the power to change your realm just by speaking words, which is kind of the secret of these air sign North Nodes. If you speak to other people, you're going to get results, but you can't keep it in. You know what I mean? If you go run off on your own, then people are going to feel like you're not really trustworthy. You have to communicate and be open. So anyways, I forgot to do this. I sat here and said I had my journal, but then I didn't say the dates. So let's do this really quick. So the next time that the North Node is in Libra is not for like 10 years. It's December of 32 to June of 34. So we're not dealing with this again for a while. The last time this happened was February 18th of 2014 to November 11th of 2015, which was honestly an insane period for me in my life. Repairing relationships, speaking your truth out to the world. I want this, but I don't want that. You know what I mean? All that kind of stuff. Also having people flake on that when you're not clear about what you want, when the North Node is in Libra, then people are just like, then they don't know how to measure up. They don't know how to add it. And so that was definitely true for me in 14 and 15. I was unclear about boundaries and relationships, and then that's what I got was confusion and muddy relationships. You know what I mean? So anyways, before that, there is a Gen Z placement for this. July 31st of 95 to January 24th of 97. There is not a millennial placement for this. Millennials don't have this energy. The Gen X placement for this is January 7th of 1977 to July 5th of 1978. The Boomer placement of this is June 16th of 58 to December 15th of 59. Going back September 11th of 1939 to May 24th of 1941. Going back again, there was a little retrograde moment going on for a couple of days. It dipped out. It dipped into the sign of Virgo for a couple of days, right? So from February 7th, 1921 to August 23rd of 1922, and then skip a couple of days, it stationed direct and went back into it went into one of them other signs. It went into Virgo. And then from August 27th to August 30th of 22. So that's like a really specific and weird couple of days in the 20s. And then also from July 20th of 1902 to January 15th of 1904. So those are your dates and times of your North Node in Libra in the birth chart. Blammo.